what I'm about to tell you now could change your life. These words, they can affect people in strange ways. And I warn you now, if you have some sort of anxiety or fear or worry, or if you feel uncomfortable, you may want to leave now, as these words demonstrate opinion and fact and discussion. The three words are: it's review time. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Nick here, and welcome to my review of Doctor Who Series 8, Episodes 11 and 12, Dark Water and Death in Heaven. There's a lot to talk about with this finale, so let's get right into it. The plot of Dark Water and Death in Heaven sees Danny Pink killed in a car accident as he's on the phone to Clara. So Clara Oswald attempts to get the Doctor to go back in time and try to save him. However, she is unable to. But the Doctor decides instead they will go and try and get Danny back from the afterlife, try to bring him back to life. In the meantime, his soul has been downloaded to this place called the Neversphere, which is a piece of Time Lord technology that is being used to pretend to be heaven or the Promised Land. It has been used by Missy, played by Michelle Gomez, to capture these people, download them into the hive of the Neversphere, while she uses dead bodies to become Cybermen, which are now able to upgrade dead bodies now, apparently. I guess you don't... well, I guess when they download the people's minds back into the cyber suits, you've got the brain, but if the people are dead, then the brain's probably not working. So it's probably more cyber suits than Cyberman, because it is based, apart from when Danny's there, it's probably more bone, and most of the stuff is probably coming from the suit and the IE, artificial intelligence, AI, sorry. Kind of going back to the idea of Cybermen being robots with organic parts, but there's more Cyberman, there's more cyber than man in these suits by the looks of it. But yeah, Missy's trying to do that, and it's revealed that Missy is in fact the Master. I'll get back to that. But Missy is the Master, and her grand plan is but actually, the plan is so that she can get a cyber army to give to the Doctor for his birthday. Yeah, that is exactly what happens. That's the plot of this episode. The plot sees Missy trying to build a Cyberman army to give the Doctor for his birthday present. I don't know whether to give a sarcastic clap or just laugh. It's ridiculous. It's silly. It's beyond the point of human comprehension, to quote Alison Jensen from Remembrance of the Daleks, episode 1. Part 1. I don't even know if that's the right quote, but if not, then you can quote me. But yeah, that's Missy's plan. She wants a cyber army to give to the Doctor to take over everything, to take over the world, and fight off, stop wars, etc. She just wants to give the Doctor a birthday present, and she thought, I know, let's give him a cyber army made out of dead people. It's so incredibly funny. I shouldn't be laughing because this is a deadly serious two-parter, and it's a pretty dark one at that. It's quite morbid, but the whole point of this plan was to give the Doctor a birthday present. obviously not one of the Master's best plans. Unit also gets involved in this episode, and we have some stuff with them in the in the story, and we get some involvement with them in Death in Heaven. Okay, so let's go bit by bit. Not literally scene by scene or anything, but let's go through the story as is. So, Missy is probably just waiting for the Doctor to turn up at some point. She's going all across his timeline, or certainly we've seen bits of that in Series 8, collecting dead people and uploading them to the Neversphere, and then downloading them, I should say, and then she's upgrading the bodies to become Cybermen. Like I said, I don't know whether that means they've lost quite a lot of the because in the Dark Water where we see the skeletons, no, there's no organic element. We don't see the brain, but no other organs there. Now the Cybermen might still, certainly since 2006, retain mostly the brain, and the rest was mostly cybersuit. For the most parts, mostly metal and wires and tech. But the brain could be hiding behind the skulls. I'm not quite sure. But if there is not even a brain in there, or anything, then or any piece of organic life to what was there before, then these are definitely robots with skeletons. Now they're not really Cybermen. They're more cyber than men. As I mentioned, and it seems to be an issue that's going on with the Daleks as well, where it seems like the suit is controlling the mutants as opposed to the other way around, which was hinted Into the Dalek, and is going to play a more important role in The Magician's Apprentice and The Witch's Familiar, much to our fans, much to the charging of us fans. And it looks like the Cybermen are going a similar direction, where it seems to be the suit is controlling the body, as opposed to the mind inside the body that's still being kept there. It's just been given an upgrade into a metal suit. With the exception of possibly Danny Pink, that seems how we're going with these Cybermen, which is unfortunate. The Cybermen seem to be trying to do a similar thing in Ascension of the Cybermen and the Timeless Children, when they wanted to be more like cybernetics, and the Master actually brought that up as a criticism of their plan. They'd just be robots. And that seems to be a similar thing here. If they don't have any pieces of human or organic or any organic piece to them, not even the brain. If it was just the brain, it probably still work. But if there's no organic piece there, then they are basically just robots with skeletons inside them, with the exception of Danny Pink, who has enough flesh and enough human pieces of his body to still be there in some scenes in episode 12, when he's downloaded back into his body. But yeah, like in Ascension of the Cybermen and the Timeless Children, the Cybermen just feel like robots again. In that story, that's what they wanted to do. They wanted to be like just plain robots. And the Master actually criticized them for that in that story. Whilst here, no, that seems to be part of their plan. And the Wands Master is the one that Sasha the Wand follows Michelle Gomez. He should know he does know how stupid that is. So I don't know whether his master, learns from Michelle Gomez's master's failures with the Cybermen or not, or if Gomez is just her master is just a bit oblivious to what's going on with the Cybermen. Maybe she just thinks, oh, they're useful for part of my plan, and they could be my birthday present for the Doctor. Yeah, maybe she doesn't really care what goes on with the Cybermen. Okay, so where was I? Yeah, I forgot where I was before I started talking about the Cybermen. But yeah, the Cybermen are basically just robots in this story, I suppose. Maybe the brain's still there, but they kind of are just robots with skeleton suits. And they can fly now. The design itself already looked a lot like Iron Man, but now the criticisms of them being just being Iron Man does come into play. And the plan is stupid. I mean, what? Rain across the graves, downloading the people from the Neversphere, and then they reclaim their bodies, but the bodies are now Cybermen. This is one of the stupidest Cyberman plans. I mean, fair enough that there's an army with skeletons with their original brains, perhaps, in St. Paul's, but it's quite stupid how they do the whole rain stuff. It's a bit silly. But yeah, Missy's basically, I remember now, Missy's just waiting for the Doctor to turn up, and it just so happens when Danny Pink dies, Clara kind of goes off the rails a little bit and tries to threaten the Doctor to bring him back, or to try go back in time and save him. Um, However, the Doctor has tricked her into showing how far she'd go, and it looks like it would have been a betrayal of Clara if she's sort of betraying him. However, it seems it's a trick by the Doctor. It doesn't work as effectively once it's revealed. And once after that, Clara and the Doctor kind of make up a little bit, as the Doctor's trying to find Danny in the afterlife. Now, Clara having gone off the rails and be the villain of the story, I think should have been the story, because with Danny dead, she wants to get the Doctor to help her, but he's unable to due to the rules of time and space. So she kind of goes off the rails to try and either bring him down or find a way to bring Danny back using unconventional methods that the Doctor would not approve of. So Missy would have to team up with the Doctor to try and help him stop Clara, who is teamed up with the Cybermen, and things kind of go wrong. We could have seen a companion turn evil in this story, or at least temporarily. Companion being the villain of the story. That would have been great. And it would have tied in the Master wanting to be friends with the Doctor again. Afterwards, and maybe Clara's stolen Missy's tech and everything to use for her plan, and then so Missy teams up with the Doctor to stop her. Maybe Missy had another plan in herself. That could have been Series 9's finale. Maybe she'd be a regular for Series 9, but yeah, Clara being a villain would have been a fantastic direction to go down, especially after the how she was very much like the Doctor in Flatline, which was handled really well. Now she's gone the complete opposite direction and become more like the Master in the finale. That would have been a great story arc to go down. In the TV series, we haven't really had a companion turn into a villain. The closest we got was Turlo working for the Black Guardian, but sort of being a companion / villain at the time, but then he rejects the Black Guardian, and then after that becomes a proper companion by the end of Enlightenment, his third story. As for expanded media, Adam Mitchell from Series 1 would later attempt to get his revenge on the first 11 Doctors in a comics mini-series during the 50th anniversary. That's a complete other rabbit hole that will go down, but there's some interesting videos on it. Go check them out. Samuel Davis covers it if you once or twice. But yeah, that is a case of a companion going evil, Adam Mitchell wanting revenge on the Doctor. So that is something to go and research later. But we haven't seen it in the TV series. I'm not sure about any of the other expanded media stories, but certainly in the TV series, we definitely haven't had it yet, besides arguably Turlo in his first few episodes, but that's more like villain becoming a companion. Oh, that did happen in Big Finish. The 11 became a companion for a box set or two. But in terms of a companion becoming a villain, we haven't really had that yet. And this would have been a great opportunity to show Clara Oswald going off the rails and becoming a villain for this 2-part finale. How great would that have been? And it would have wrapped up her character arc pretty well, actually. Instead, we've got Missy's stupid plan about wanting to give the Doctor a present for his birthday, and it being a cyber army that can bring people, upgrade dead bodies. But on the plus side, we do have Danny Pink interacting with Seb, who is the second best character of this 2-part story. The best character is Clara's Gran in the pre-title scene of Dark Water. I'm sorry, that character is just... I just love that character. She doesn't even do anything, and she's just fantastic. And Sheila Reid, who reprises the role from Time of the Doctor, is great. Can we have more of her, please? Unfortunately, we don't. Damn it. I don't know. I just really like Clara's Gran. But anyway, Seb, played by Chris Anderson, who we met in The Caretaker, he's a little bit obnoxious and a little bit annoying, but he's still a really fun character and really enjoyable. Has some great funny moments. And to be honest, with a character who has to deal with people who are just realizing they're dead and they just come to the afterlife, he has some. He has a more upbeat, levity personality. I suppose you can't really get the fact that people have just died get you down all the time. Otherwise, you're going to be even more depressed than they are. So you're going to have to be a bit more upbeat, a bit like those Mork guys in the TV movie. They have to be a bit more upbeat because they're dealing with dead people. Otherwise, if they let their real emotions in, then they're going to be even more depressed. Very depressed even. So yeah, I enjoyed Chris Anderson as Seb. Unfortunately, he's not in the second episode as much. He's not in Death in Heaven as much. He gets about 2 or 3 scenes in that episode, which is a shame, and then he gets killed by Missy because I don't know. Maybe she found him annoying. He's just an AI, I believe, in the system, but he's still got a personality that's really enjoyable. So he deals with Danny Pink, and we get the revelation of Danny Pink killing a young boy when he was a soldier by accident. He didn't mean to kill the boy. So that's the guilt he felt in it, that we see in Into the Dalek. That's probably why he left being the army. Meanwhile, the Doctor and Clara arrive at St. Paul's and find it as a mausoleum. They don't realise it's St. Paul's just yet. The Doctor realises at the end of the episode when they just go outside. And they discover it's a institute called 3W, 3 words. It's supposedly a front for an institution that has discovered people's being conscious in the afterlife. This turns out not to be true, as it's just the Neversphere and Missy uploading people's minds. But what we get is a really nasty, really gruesome, really adult moment where basically it implies that the dead are still conscious, which honestly could still possibly be true. Yeah, it does. It does turn out to be the Neversphere that all these minds are being uploaded to, but perhaps the dead are conscious whilst their bodies are being burned or buried, which leads to the words "Don't cremate me." That is quite a dark and quite a gruesome thought. It's not even Torchwood went this morbid, and that was an adult series. This one's a family series, and it's quite nasty. In fact, many people did get upset about this, even though the character of Dr. Chang was kind of warning Clara and the Doctor, which could arguably the BBC claimed that he was also warning the audience, but it was definitely seen to be Doctor and Clara. You could take it as a warning to the audience as well, but it's definitely in the episode. It's more of a Clara Doctor warning rather than the audience. And yeah, I can see why people would get upset about this. This is quite a nasty revelation. The idea of the dead being conscious after death is quite nasty and very morbid, and I don't know, it doesn't quite fit. Even though it's proven to be a ruse, possibly, it's still a very nasty idea. It's still quite a nasty idea, and I can see why lots of people got very upset about this. And it was a bad idea. I'm not sure why they went down with this, apart from to use it as a ruse, but ultimately it was a very bad idea. By the way, in case you're wondering, the other bit was filmed earlier. Had to stop it, go have lunch, and then now I've had lunch and I'll come back. It's a bit later, and it's a bit darker, grayer outside, so I put the light on, and it's a bit chillier, so I put my varsity jacket on, university varsity jacket. Go Anglia Ruskin, especially the Cambridge campus. Anyway, so back to the review. So yeah, the whole stuff about the consciousness after death thing, it's still implying that it could still be there, even though it's been used as a trick. For here, it could still theoretically still be possible, which is nasty. I suppose it was theoretically possible before, but this episode introduces it a bit more as an open concept. Okay, I want to move on to Death in Heaven now. Talked a lot about Darkwater, and let's move on to Death in Heaven. The opening of Death in Heaven kind of has Clara pretending she's going to be the Doctor, and whilst I'm okay with her lying to the Cybermen a little bit and trying to pretend, the titles then try to convince the audience that Clara is secretly the Doctor, and it's Jenna Coleman gets first billing instead of Peter Capaldi, and gets her face in the credits. What? Okay, against her trying to trick the Cybermen, but why is Stephen Moffat trying to trick the audience now? It's revealed later on that it's all a lie. It's all trick. Danny the Cyberman knows she's lying, but why? Yeah, I get why she's trying to convince the Cybermen, but why are you trying so hard to convince the audience, Stephen Moffat? um, so yeah, that's the start of Clara pretending to be the Doctor. That starts to go downhill a bit. And it's going to get worse in Series 9. Well, not pretending to be the Doctor in Series 9, but she's trying to be like him in Series 9. And I suppose that's the character dynamic for that series, but I don't think that works any better. Anyway, so Unit capture Missy in a pretty great bit where they've got all their agents around the area, and then they reveal themselves to be Unit. And that's a pretty cool moment. Um, and then they take Missy on board a plane. It's not Air Force One. That's the President of America's plane. It's another plane. What they should have called it is Who 3. That would have been funny. Because Who 2 is the Whomobile, and Who 1 is of course Bessie, which was later renumbered to 7. But yeah, it would have been nice if this plane was numbered Who 3. So the Doctor is made president of the world in situations like this where everyone has to come together and they have a figurehead for everybody, and they decided on the Doctor because he's an alien and the alien who saves the Earth countless times, or at least in the Doctor Who universe, at least. We also have a very wasted. Is it Shankar Beskav? I think Shakavi Beskav. I think that's the actor, but he's wasted. He's just this unit or army general or something. The Doctor calls Boy Scout, and he's basically just there. Yeah, unfortunately. And then Missy tricks not tricks Osgood, but she kills Osgood and escapes from her hangouts. Those two unit people behind her didn't notice her undoing the hangouts, and when she escaped, they did nothing. So maybe they were in league with her, but she kills them afterwards. So maybe they're just stupid. And then Missy kills Osgood. Whether this is Zygon Osgood or human Osgood is not yet to be revealed. It was a shock at the time. It was quite shocking to see Missy do that. However, this could have been part of Moffat's plan for the character that would be going into midway through next series. A plan that didn't really carry on after that. Not really. I mean, the best we got is probably either the unit audios by Big Finish, but I think they're all set before Day of the Doctor or between Day of the Doctor and this. And so maybe those and maybe not those, as well as also the lockdown thing on the rewatch. I think for was it Zygon Invasion? It was a rewatch for something that Ingrid Oliver did. Anyway, so like I said, Missy kills Osgood, or Zygon Osgood, depending on which one we get it is. And then she also tries to kill Kate by blowing her out of a plane. Thankfully, Kate survives, but I'll talk more about that later. And then the Doctor falls out of the plane whilst Missy teleports away to the Neversphere. The Doctor has a really cool bit where he's flying down to the TARDIS and gets his key out to go inside. I do have the nitpick that we just have a shot of the clouds for quite a few seconds, and then the TARDIS pops up. I think that shot should have been cut in half. I think we should have cut it the first half down. So we're wondering, did the Doctor get into the TARDIS, and we're just left on this shot of the clouds for a few seconds, and then the TARDIS appears. So I think we should have had the Doctor putting his key into the TARDIS, getting his key out. He's approaching the TARDIS, cuts the clouds, give it like 3 seconds, and then the TARDIS comes flying out at a fast speed, and then heads towards the camera. I think we should have cut down that shot by about half as long for a more dramatic impact. Because after too long of a pause, it's not going to be so impactful. Still, the Doctor flying down towards the TARDIS to get his key out, that was a pretty cool moment. And then he arrives in the graveyard that Danny has taken Clara to for protection, and he wants her to turn off the emotional inhibitor. To turn on the inhibitor to delete all his emotions, which she does. So the Doctor can learn, and so he can stop being in pain from the emotions, as well as for the Doctor to learn about Missy's plan. And then Missy turns up and reveals why she's doing it. Eventually, then Zanny takes over and takes the Cyberman army and just blows them all up into the sky, just orders them up into the sky and destroys them. It's a great dramatic conclusion to Danny's story arc, but as a climax of the episode, it is underwhelming. Missy then reveals that where Gallifrey is, and Clara then threatens to kill her. The Doctor then takes Clara's place so that her soul will be spared. And then Missy is then supposedly killed by a lone Cyberman still standing. This Cyberman having saved Kate Stewart, and it's implied that this Cyberman is Brigadier Lethbridge Stewart. What a way to insult one of the greatest characters of the show, one of the legendary actors of the show as well. We had such a lovely tribute to Brigadier Lethbridge Stewart and Nicholas Courtney in the Wedding of River Song 3 years earlier, which broadcast a few months after Nicholas Courtney's death. We had such a lovely tribute and wrap up to his story. And it was also nice to have his painting on the aeroplane, and for Kate to mention that it was his greatest ambition to have the Doctor salute him at some point. But now, Brigadier Lethbridge Stewart's now a Cyberman. Well, at least his dead body is a Cyberman or something, and there's a bit of human still left inside of him, like there was in Danny. That is insultive to one of the greatest characters of the show, and to a beloved actor. It's not as insultive as what happens in the next series' finale, but it's damn close. It's damn close. What were you thinking, Stephen Moffat? And then he obviously goes up and blows himself up. The only good thing about having Cyberbrig is the fact that we get to have some parodies of him. As the Brigadier, but as a Cyberman, as charge of unit. That's the only good thing. We get some good parodies in fan films with Cyberbrig, mainly from Phoenix Smith. We get some funny parodies with the Cyberbrig, but that's it. That's the only good thing, and that's not even to do with the show. That's fan stuff. That's it. That's the only good stuff that fans can parody it or use it as their own projects. But that's as far as it goes. And them doing that is far more respectful than this, because at least it's taking a bad thing and trying to do something good with it. But this shouldn't even have happened in the first place. Fucking hell! It's at least not as bad. It's not as bad as what happens in next series' finale. But it's, as I said, it's damn close. It's almost as insulting, but it's damn close. And then Danny has the wrist bracelet Missy had. That was what he did to control the Cybermen, and then sends the boy back from the Neversphere dimension to go to stay alive. So the boy he killed is back alive now, and now that's it. Danny's officially dead. Clara lies to the Doctor about him being alive, and that now it's time to leave the TARDIS so that they can be together. And the Doctor lies about finding Gallifrey. Missy apparently lied, or maybe it's still in its alternative dimension or something. I'm not quite sure. Series 8 was apparently going to be the search for Gallifrey, or was implied to be the search for Gallifrey, but apart from this scene at the end, we didn't really get that. It's going to happen next series. Doctor's going to find Gallifrey next series, but there's no search for Gallifrey in Series 8. It's just this scene, and it turns out Missy was lying, perhaps. Or maybe he hadn't gone to the other dimension. So, yeah, but he lies about finding it to Clara so that he can let her carry on with her life, and they part ways on a kind of nice terms. Even though they're lying to each other, it's still a nice conclusion to Clara's story, and she walks off to have a normal life, and that's it. That's Death in Heaven. So Dark Water, Death in Heaven. A mixed bag, very mixed bag. Again, okay, I think it's slightly better than In the Forest of the Night overall, because there is some decent bits in it. However, it kind of it's a bit of a weak finale. It has some decent ideas, but the whole stuff about the Don't Cremate Me stuff kind of lets down Dark Water's interesting setup. And then Death in Heaven, what the hell happened with that climax? That was rubbish. The whole Doctor birthday present thing, what? And Danny, whilst completing his story arc with saving the universe, it's still a kind of a disappointing climax to the story. Um, the good news is Missy is still alive. Although if you're not a Missy fan, then that's probably not good news to you. But thankfully she will be back in future stories. But until then, this is what we get of her as the Master. Because we've had just her being the mysterious woman for 5 episodes of the previous in 5 of the previous 10 episodes, and then she's revealed to be a villain in this story. And late at the end of the first episode, she's revealed to be the Master. So yeah, I mean, we got some quite a lot of good moments with her. Michelle Gomez is really great, especially when doing the bonkers bananas Missy. My family loves Missy because of her bonkers banana stuff. And yeah, but unfortunately for her, her plan sucks. The plan sucks. I love Missy, more so in series 10, but she's really fun here. And bananas! I really enjoyed that, and I thought the character was done well, even if a bit very much like the typical Stephen Moffat 2010 onwards written female characters. Because I don't know what happened, but sometime after becoming showrunner, Stephen Moffat's writing for female characters kind of goes downhill a bit, almost to a point where it's it could be argued to be sexist, or the fact that he's trying to be he's got a very samey writing trope for them. I don't think he's intending to be, but it might just be accidental um, on both parts. It's just that he's got a very formulaic way of writing females, I guess, after 2010. But I still enjoyed Missy. I thought she was fun. Michelle Gomez is probably the main factor into that. She does a great job. Whilst we're on the great performances, Peter Capaldi and Jenna Coleman, fantastic as always. Whilst Clara as a character isn't as great as in Flatline, she's still pretty great character. And I would have liked to have seen the villain companion, her companion become a villain aspect carried on. But I still think what we got was good, and Danny's story arc comes to a nice closure with Samuel Anderson doing a great performance here. I also enjoyed Seb, as I mentioned. Chris Anderson plays a good job there. Addison, not quite sure. Also, it's nice to see Kate Stewart and Oscar back as well. Although one of them gets killed off. And we also have the wasted Shavi Bhaskar. I think that's the actor's name. He's wasted, and we have the insulting bit at the end with the Brigadier, or Cyber Brig, I should say. And with the whole don't cremate me stuff as well. But there are some pretty interesting bits. Rachel Tillaly does a fantastic job with directing this episode, and she makes it look visually stunning. Along with the following 2 series finales, 9 and 10, to which she directs the last 2 episodes of series 9, the last 2 episodes of series 10, and also the 2017 Christmas special. Across her 7 episodes, quite a few fans have considered her one of the best directors of Doctor Who. And whilst the episodes she directs are a mixed bag, you got some fantastic episodes in there, and you've also got some absolutely terrible episodes in there. But despite having a very mixed bag in terms of the stories, Tillaly does a fantastic job in directing them, and this is a great start to her relationship with Doctor Who. And I agree, yeah, she is one of the best directors of Doctor Who. Does a fantastic job with visual storytelling. No wonder she was brought back for both Series 9 and Series 10's finales, as well as the... Because I consider Heaven Sent Hellbent separate stories to each other. The penultimate story of Series 9, and also the 2017 Christmas special. So she's directed 5 stories across 7 episodes. And they all look visually stunning. It's just, unfortunately, they are a mixed bag of stories within those across those episodes and across those stories, but they visually look stunning, and that's and this episode definitely looks very, very stunning. Really great stuff. Unfortunately, the script itself isn't that great, and it could have been a bit better, maybe a few more tweaks. I think we do get quite a lot of the answers we were wondering about from earlier in the series, and there's some stuff that ties in from earlier, like the the organic part of the TARDIS for the telepathic stuff, and the Doctor wondering if he is a good man or not, which was brought up earlier on in the series, but not really touched upon much else, apart from maybe the bit in the middle with Kill the Moon where he leaves Clara for a bit. And then there's that argument at the end. But apart from maybe there, I'm not sure if it was brought up much in the middle. But yeah, that's really about it. That's what more or less I can say about the story. It's not good, actually. It's meh. It's actually meh. There's some great bits in there, some fantastic visuals and brilliant acting, but at the same time, there's some really stupid and pretty bad, and even in some cases, insulting moments in the episode, like with Cyberbrig and the free W bit. And there's just some really stupid stuff. Like Missy's plan is just fucking idiotic, and her reasoning. Oh my god, I don't know what went wrong with this finale. These last two episodes, more so the last episode in Dark Water, with the exception of the free W stuff and the fact that it all ties into a really stupid plan. That is revealed in the last one. Apart from that, it's actually a pretty decent start. It's actually a really good start, minus the free W stuff and the fact that the plan's stupid. Missy's plan is stupid. But otherwise, Dark would have been a great episode. Death in Heaven is certainly not a great episode. It has some great moments in it and has some amazing visuals, but it's a really stupid plan on Missy's part, a really silly plot, and I don't know, it just doesn't work, and we still got that sour taste from the Don't Cremate Me stuff, and that's not even including the disappointing climax in the insulting bit with the Brigadier, or Cyberbrig. The only good bit about that climax is Danny's story arc comes to a nice close, but that's about, or at least on his part, but as a climax to the story, it sucks. Overall, I will be giving Dark Water and Death in Heaven a 5 out of 10. This is the lowest scoring series finale of the first 8, and looking at my opinions of the following 4 series, 9 through to 12, this is probably the second worst after probably Series 9's. I'll give you a definitive opinion on Hellbent after the rewatch. Spoiler alert, I probably won't have much of a change of mind. But that's probably going to be my least favourite episode, so I look forward to a extreme rant for that one, maybe, or at least a rant. And then besides Hellbent, this is probably the worst one. Bad Wolf Parting Ways is fantastic. It's one of my favourite episodes of favourite stories of all time. Army Ghost Doomsday, that's brilliant. Utopia Sound of Drums Last Time Lord's great, even if it does have a contrived ending at the very end with the reset button. But the rest of it is pretty brilliant. Stolen Earth Journey's End, brilliant. Pandora Opens Big Bang, also fantastic. Wedding River Song started off brilliantly and then went downhill. Overall, meh, in my opinion. Name of the Doctor, that was brilliant. And then with series 10, 11, and 12, World Enough in Time, Doctor Falls, outstanding. Battle Ranks Coloss, no, that's not very good. But it's not as bad as this. At least Tim Shaw's plan makes sense. And then Ascension of the Sidemen and the Timeless Children, extremely messy, but still better than this. Even with the whole bloody Timeless Child reveal, it's still better than this. And also throwing the End of Time, better than this. It's actually pretty good, in my opinion. And The Time of the Doctor, better than this. Also pretty good, in my opinion, besides a few issues I had with it. And the same could be said for End of Time. But, yeah, this episode, but this two-parter, in my opinion, is the second worst series finale of the new series. After next series is most likely. I'll make a definitive opinion on that after the rewatch. And the same with series 11 and 12 as well. 10's isn't going to be changing anytime soon, I know that. But yeah, expect this to be super low on my new series finale. If I do a series finale ranking of the new series or the whole show from seasons 1 to 38, expect this one to be super low on. Expect this one to be low on the overall one and to be super low on the new series one. And that's not even including the specials. That would just make it even lower. because the specials ones are also better. Okay, so that's Dark Water, Death in Heaven. Next time it will be the Series 8 ranking, where we will be ranking all 11 stories, which take place across the 12 episodes of this series. Thank you for watching, and... Hello? Nick? You know you can't end it like that. There's still one more bit to talk about, and you know it. Right, that's it. I'm coming in. Ah, that's better. Oh my goodness. Now, tell me, what did you think of the mid-credit scene with Santa's appearance? Oh yeah, there is one more thing to talk about at the end of this episode. There's a mid-credit scene where Santa Claus then turns up in the TARDIS and says, "Oh, you can't end it there. She's not happy, and neither are you. I'm coming in. What do you want for Christmas?" Actually, I wouldn't mind that scene if it was at the very end of the episode or as a post-credit scene, but it kind of ruins the flow of the title sequence, and it does serve as a kind of a contrived way to tie in with the upcoming Christmas special. That will be following this. I know people have made that complaint about Runaway Bride and Voyage of the Damned, and also with how they had title teasers for them were in at the end of the Doomsday and Last of the Time Lords, ruining a kind of a more emotional moment, companion departure. And yeah, I can see that for those two, but it's even more contrived here because it really is right in the middle of a title sequence. Timeless Children's has a similar thing as well to the form Doomsday and Last of the Times, where they have the teaser for the Revolution of the Daleks, the New Year special, upcoming New Year special at the end of Timeless Children. In a similar vein to how Runaway Bride and Voyage of the Damned were teased at the end of Doomsday and Last of the Time Lords, and a deleted scene from Journey's End had a tease for the next Doctor. But out of all four of the ones that teased the upcoming Christmas special, not including the deleted scene from Journey's End, the most contrived one is this one because it just comes in the middle of the credits. Why couldn't you wait until the post after the credits, with the exception of the executive producers and the logo, do it as the post-credit scene, and then after have the credit as and Nick Frost as Santa Claus, and then the executive producer and logos bit at the very end. But coming in as a mid-credit scene, it kind of feels a bit awkward, and it doesn't quite work. I don't know, it doesn't quite work. But if it was before the credits started or at the very end, as a post-credit scene, then it might have been okay. Might have been a good one. In fact, it would have been a nice surprise at the very end. So, yeah. But, yeah, that's about it. Happy now? Yes. Good. Anyway, that's it from me. Thank you for watching, and next time, as I mentioned, is the Series 8 ranking. Then, we will be on to my review of the 2014 Doctor Who Christmas special, Last Christmas, which we will be starting Series 9 reviews with. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye. Right. See you in the Last Christmas review. That's the next one, after the Series 8 ranking. Where's my reindeer? Don't forget to click below to subscribe to the Nicholas Payne YouTube channel.